Gender studies. Think of the activities that take place in an average household during the course of a day. Food is cooked, cleaning is done, sweeping, mopping, and dusting. Groceries and other household items are purchased. Clothes are washed, dried, ironed. Sometimes household repairs are carried out. Garbage is discarded. Also, the people who live in the house need to be looked after. Sometimes they maybe have special needs. For example, babies need a constant supervision. So, these examples reflect certain changes in viewpoint that are very significant from point of view of gender studies. So, before getting into the lesson, let's get to know about what is gender studies or what is gender. Gender studies is a field of study that looks at the world from the perspective of gender. This means that while studying something, the distribution of resource within the household, a social unit like a caste group, a bill placed before parliament, a development project, the classification of different species are done in a manner that takes into account the fact that different gender exist in this world. These genders are differently placed within social reality, such as various processes impact them differently. Thus, gender studies recognizes that gender has to be taken seriously. It is a field that recognizes that often within academic disciplines and also other spheres of society, the perspective that has been applied has been the most powerful people in society. And thus, this is often at the expense of less powerful people. Gender studies that then exist as an important means of correcting such imbalances. Gender studies. What is gender and what is sex? Let's get clear about what the difference between sex and gender. Sex and gender. Sex here refers to the fact of being either male or female, and gender to the cultural and social ideas of masculinity and femininity that are assigned to different sexes. Gender refers to those traits and characteristics that a person is expected to possess by virtue of being male or female, as well as the different roles that a person is expected to perform. For example, women may be seen as naturally caring and nurturing, while men may be seen as naturally rational and logical. This may lead to the belief that women are naturally suited to jobs like nursing, while men will make good scientists and engineers. The traits are associated with masculinity and femininity varies across different cultures and societies, as well as different periods in history. Gender studies looks at the manner in which the norms of and patterns of behavior associated with masculinity and femininity come into being. In studies, the feature of these norms and patterns, which traits are considered masculine, which feminine, and why. So, how do stereotypical models of men and women develop? For example, both men and women may wear denim jeans, but even here, it can be noted that there are differences in cuts, that is, how the jeans fits the wearer, in colors, the embellishments. Thus, even in common items of clothing, there are differences. Clothing is gender, and in doing so, it allows determining whether the wearer is a male or female. Sometimes men and women do wear clothing that is absolutely identical. For example, a school uniform may also consist of a tie that both girls and boys do have to wear. In this case, can it be said that the tie is also a gendered article of clothing? No, not at all. So it is clear that sex refers to the biological and physiological characteristics that define men and women. It is defined as the anatomical or physiological characteristics that signify the biological maleness or femaleness of an individual. Gender refers to the socially constructed roles, behaviors, activities, and attributes that a given society considers appropriate for men and women. Gender emphasizes that masculinity and femininity are produced of social, cultural, and psychological factors and are acquired by an individual in process of becoming a man or woman. Let's see few common female stereotypical role that is prevalent in the homemaker. For example, women is related to compassionate, caring, nurturing, emotional, sympathetic, and loving. Whereas men is related to or men as being stereotypical to competitive, independent, courageous, aggressive, rational, and assertive. Now let's discuss the importance of gender studies in today's society. Gender studies is essential because it helps to highlight and challenge gender inequalities and stereotypes that are deeply embedded in our culture. By studying gender studies, we understand the discrimination on the basis of gender. By studying gender, we can understand how gender shapes our experience, relationship, and identities. It enables us to question and challenge traditional gender roles and norms and create a more inclusive and equitable society for all genders. Furthermore, studying gender roles can help to reduce gender based violence as well as promote gender equality and empowerment. It can also lead to a better understanding of experience and challenges faced by marginalized gender groups such as the LGBTQ.